You just can't miss the Envy McKee Show.
I am the stone that the builder refused. I am the visual, the inspiration that made ladies sing the blues. I'm the spark that makes your idea bright. The same spark that lights the dark so that you can know your left from your right. I am the ballad in your box, the bullet in the gun, the inner glow that let you know to call your brother son. The story that just begun, the promise of what's to come. And I'ma remain a soldier till the war is won. Chop, chop, chop.
The Envy McKee Show, exclusively on Word.
Chop, chop, chop. Chop, chop, chop.
Yes, welcome back to the Envy McKee Show right here on WRD, Progressive Electric Media. Hey! I love listening to Black artist stories because they remind us of how dope we are. And I'm especially grateful for that episode because it reminds me of there have been Amanda Seales, iconic artists doing the work that they needed to do. And you can best believe that people didn't like Marian Anderson when she did those things. Oh, do you know what I mean? Yeah. Hindsight is 2020. Like Marian Anderson just been, but back in the day, she ruffled some feathers. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And we live in a different time than that. But I feel like as much as things have changed, lots have not. Mm-hmm. And change requires discomfort. Absolutely. It requires people who are willing to speak truth to power. It requires people to put their careers and their bags on the line because status quo only works when everybody buys into it.
That's right.
So the fact that we have all these not even really cute think pieces on Amanda Seales, why she's so difficult. There's this man, and I'm not going to mention his name on here because I don't want to invoke Beetlejuice right now. Like, we cool. You know how you cool with somebody, but then they show up places and you're like, why are we cool? Right. So this person is supposed to be a journalist. We'll just say it that way. And it's not who you think. It's not who you think, Eric. Somebody else. And I posted some, I talk about it in the starsnotes. So if you want to get the synthesized version of this, you can go to envymckeeshow.com and you can sign up for the starsnotes. If you want to hear this, then just stay with me. So once I realized that there was this kind of weird debate going on about Amanda Seales being difficult and her being left out of these things were her fault and, all that stuff because she's not an agreeable person. She's not likable. Mm-hmm. She got 2.2 million followers for somebody that really just, you know what I mean? For somebody that really just, amplifies Black liberation and Black love. And she does all this really cool, interesting work. Her HBO comedy series was like she's the first Black woman to have an HBO comedy series, like on HBO. Do you know what I mean? Like and it was like very well received. It's just baffling. It's baffling. Her Smart, Funny, and Black was a tour that she did where she had all these different Black stars come on and it's like a game show thing. It was a live action tour thing. It's just so like she did some really dope, really cool thing. She's still doing it. She's the star, one of the stars of Insecure. And like the fact that she's used her platform to amplify and to teach and to give and people saying she's just not likable. I'm just like, I don't get it, but okay. So this dude, I did my research. I watched some interviews, some more recent interviews, just to kind of get some perspective. And these are other people. These are Black men asking her questions, and there was nothing not likable about anything that she said. Like, she's eloquent, she's smart, she's funny, she's interesting, she's poignant. And you could tell, she's going through stuff, and then she's able to synthesize the pain that she's going through, a breakup, and what I realized is that what people don't like is that she stands on integrity and she airs out stuff Because if you notice, and I know this is more in your realm, Mayette, if you notice, who's the dude that, it doesn't matter. There are so many toxic men that we forgive for just all kinds of stuff. So much grace. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't offer grace. I'm not saying that that's, people have actually, they're living their lives and they're going through stuff, and we extend so much grace for so many different kinds of toxic men. But here's a woman who's actually not toxic, who's actually going to therapy, who's actually, doing all the growth work, and she's doing the thing, and she's still using her platform to amplify. And I'm bringing it back to this dude, this journalist. She's a nightmare. He said, the real story is, I'd like to interview her exes. That's where the real story is. She's a nightmare. And so what I'm discovering is that this is really about affability. This is really about some of these men, you heard what I said, Eric. This is really about some of these men not being able to see themselves with her, or live up to her standards, or do the work within themselves enough to be qualified to even be in her life. And so since they are unwilling to do any amount of work on themselves, to be to elevate to a place where someone like she, who is a gorgeous black woman, would even look at them twice or once or at all, do you know what I mean? It's got to be her. And we begin to judge these brilliant women who bear on their backs and this has happened even through all of the different movements. We're talking the Black Panther movement. We're talking about just the general civil rights movement. All of these black women who have put their bodies on the line, the front line of our movements. And it boils down to, but are they effable?
Well, those are boys. Those are not men.
You're right.
Those are boys. Those are not men. There's a distinctive difference between the two. And granted, some of the things that, we vibrate everything to us that we are. And we can vibrate remnants of what we're working through. We can vibrate remnants of what we've just gotten through, and it's just a test, and say, hey, you're going to fall back. It's comfortable over here. It's just the way you have to look at it. And yes, unfortunately, it happens on both sides of the coin. We have men, just like women, who go through the process of actually healing, and what they're confronted with is this toxic form of a woman. And so it's happening on both ends of the spectrum. And so now a part of what's taking place is the gentleman, I don't know who he is. Like I said, I don't even watch TV anymore. You are educating me, Beetlejuice. You're educating me about some of these things that I'm only joining in and based off of what you said and what makes sense in what you're saying. So you have these beings that are not healed. Like I said, that's a little boy. Whoever made that statement, does he really know? Or is he basing his picture off of, or the way he sees her off of what he sees of her? And he can only see her from a lens in which he can see. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I can only see the world. That's right.
I can only see you as a beautiful soul because I see you in me. I see me in you. Right. So whatever it is he's seeing in her and the women see in them, it goes both ways. Too. It's you. Yep, that's right. So you have to. So what he's seeing in her is just a part of himself that she's highlighting for him to see. But we're so into now. It has become this thing of a debate between men and women. When in reality, we got some little girls and some little boys in grown bodies anyway. It doesn't matter what your sex is. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter how much money you have. You either have matured and have listened to wisdom's guidance. You understand wisdom's nature. See, I'm going to keep using that because that is
I love it.
Wow. You understand wisdom's nature. You are in the frequency to hear the guidance and allow yourself to be moved by wisdom's nature. That you don't see someone as, oh, I want to talk to her exes. She's a mess. You don't see someone as that. You say, oh, wow, I wonder what she went through to get to where she is. But you can only see where it is you are. So he sees a mess in her because he's a mess too. Same thing when you have these women who dog good men. You baby, you see you mad because he won't give you your way because you think it's good, and because it's good you're supposed to get what you want. Well, that's because all you see is yourself being used or in him.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So it for me, it goes a little bit deeper than what they're doing in society. And again, it goes back to being puppeted. Somebody planted that in their minds. Hello, somebody, by the way they presented themselves on the television. So you have these role models on the TV screen, and you have these things that men and women alike see, and they are allowing themselves to be programmed. They don't know it. So they're being puppeted. It's all for, if we can go there, it's all for something else. See, Master want to go ahead and play it. Let me mix the field ones with the house ones, and let's see, can we have some fun? Let's watch them go at it. You know, we are better together than we are apart. And no matter what our differences are as male and female, if we do not find a way to come to common ground and unity, unity, and unite and come into a place of harmony, we will be destroyed, because it is ultimately more than just about us as a color. It is about us as a human race. So this is a great example of how, as I was saying earlier, we are just stimuli reacting. All they do is say, oh, let me go and tickle you right here. I know how you're going to react. See, I know if I tickle you right here, your right foot you're going to kick your right foot. So I'm going to do whatever it takes to kick, because when you kick your right foot, it moves something else out the way that I don't want to have to deal with, but you can deal with it for me. I'm going to use you to do it. Does this make sense what I'm trying to say?
Mm-hmm. It does. It makes sense. We got to go to break too. This is the Envy McKee Show right here on WRD, Progressive Black Talk Media. We'll be what, Eric?
Black. Right, black.
Have you always wanted to learn an interdimensional language but not sure where to begin? Those basic language apps not offering the languages you really want to learn? Good news! Now there's Staretta Stone, offering languages like Tuastai and the Elders language taught by native speakers so you and your friends can blurt out and up-level your vibrational frequency at the same time. For more information, read The Stellar Trilogy by Envy McKee, available at envymckee.com and wherever books are sold like Amazon. And tune into the Envy McKee Show, Friday nights 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on 900 AM, 96.1 FM WURD, and worldwide on WURDradio.com and the Word app. Join the involution.
Envy's evolution is the Envy McKee Show.
Hey, we're Philly's own Kindred, the family soul.
Hey, what's up? This is Kevin Carr.
Hey, this is Lady Alma.
This is Greg.
And Halana.
And we are the Woke Bays.
Yo, what's up? This your boy Genuine right here on the Envy McKee Show. And I always stay tuned.
Join the involution exclusively on Word.
Welcome back. Woo! Welcome back to the Envy McKee Show right here on WRD, Progressive Black Talk Media. Of course, this is Starfolk University, the onlyest on-air school for modern mystics. It's the Envy McKee Show. We call it Starfolk University. Anyway, our shift prompt for the month of March is the art of being known, kind, full stop, notably overstanding wisdom's nature. In the Woo Metaphysical Studio with me now, we have DJ Frosty Phoenix on the ones and twos, our Dean of Fellowship and Change. We have Jen Bragg-Jones, our Dean of Heartful Entrepreneurship. And we have Mayette Ajay Ib, our Dean of Understanding and Life Skills. And when I tell you this conversation is giving me life, it is giving me life. I didn't know. I never know where these conversations are going to go. But this is just so beautiful, because we are unpacking something. I feel like we're talking about, first of all, if you're just tuning in, you're late. But now as you're here, we're glad you're here. I want to get you up to speed. We've been talking a little bit about Amanda Seales. We talk about some of the vitriol. So Essence wrote a little blurb. I'll say it this way. Amanda Seales is in the news because as someone who has dedicated her career to and using her platform for the love and liberation of Black people. I mean, literally, like, you can look at her body of work, and if you come up with anything less than this woman is a national treasure, I don't know how. Like, I just don't. I don't understand. But that's fine. And so she came out and she did a post where she essentially said, I don't feel loved by these Black flagship places that I actually, elevate and I do work for, BET, Essence, whatever. So Essence came out and they were like, we see you, we hear you, Amanda, we love you. They responded to that. And then when I tell you, like, the very next day or 3 days later, some such, that came out today, had somebody do a think piece where it starts out going, let's talk about likability, or how likability is more important than being good at your job. That was, so I'm thinking this is going, okay, let's get it. Honey, it starts out, I really like Amanda Seales, like, she's brilliant, she's smart, all the things we've been talking about, all the things. But really, is it us? I feel like it's you, because you spent so much of your career going against the grain, Massa's House, talking about Massa's House, but then you want to go to things that Massa's House is up to. But you're talking about BET, Essence, like, we can't really invite, essentially what I got from it was what you were saying. We can't really invite you places because you don't know how to act. And so likability is more important. Do you know what I mean? Even though we like you. But, you know what I mean? And I, like I said, the article, and you read it for yourself. If you got the starsnotes, I left a link on there. It started out good, and then it ended up being really whack. And then we talk about, these male folks who get up under posts, one of which personal experience mine, and they're really just explaining how they feel about women. Like, because it doesn't have, you look at this woman's body of work, and like I said, male, woman, orange, purple, green, alien, unicorn, centaur, whatever, like, she's got receipts. And you say, well, some people said she's a nightmare, so that's all for me, because she just seems like she's, you know what I mean? So you're not talking about her body of work. You're not talking about the validity of her claims that she would like to be, celebrated by Black places because that's what she does the work for. You're talking about whether or not she's affable.
So okay. So digesting all that you've said, I love my sister, shout out to Word Family and all that kind of. I'm not gonna say anything that's contradictory. I do think that there's like a third side of the coin, if you will.
Is there?
I think
Are there
so.
3 sides to coins?
Should I
Yes.
pull a coin out of my desk?
Yeah. There's a third side. If you flip it, no, I'm kidding. Stop. There's like another side to the conversation. Wow, Jennifer. Wow. Okay.
That you don't see. It's a side you don't see, right? It's a side.
Okay.
Let's
go. Let's go with
Talking
it.
about the rim. Spoken on.
Ooh,
The rim.
No, the rim holds the whole thing together. That's that third side we're talking
Talking about
about.
the rim.
Very
Okay,
good.
cool.
Jennifer.
Thank you, Jen.
You did that.
The idea that we talk about individuals who are likable, that when you're in the workplace, like I think we talked about off air, there are people that, when you meet in the workplace and they're likable to a certain degree, you interact with them, but then outside of hours, you go, I don't really hang out with that person. Then there's people that you hang out with in and out of work, and then there's people that you don't like at work and you don't like outside, and you make it known to that person. You may be great at your job. I don't like you here. I don't like you there. I don't like you anywhere. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I think she's in the line where she makes it known who she is, right? And there's nothing about her that you can outwardly say, I don't like you. You don't know her. You don't know her to a degree. Like, you could say, and I'm not just throwing out names, you could probably say you don't like Candace Owens, right? Shout out to Candace for also getting let go from the recent outlet she got let go of, right? And that could be a whole other thing to unpack in general. This is just from a journalist mindset.
I like Candace.
You like her?
Candace Owens?
I do.
Me too.
Okay, there's
Right.
we'll get back to that in a second, and then there's individuals that
Or
like
opposite, the same reasons that I like her.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
that refutes my whole use of her as the metaphor. So we'll take that out the way. In general, I'm saying for Amanda, she's known, and I don't think this is a new point where she's come out and said basically like she feels like people are against her in certain instances. She's not getting welcomed to certain situations that she should get welcomed to. Like so she's been in many of places. She should have been interviewed in many of ways, and she hasn't. And it could be a conversation that people just like her from a certain level, or can't take whatever level she's giving. That, like you said, she stands on business. Some people may not be able to stand on that same business. Like you can't mesh with that person's vibe. And I mean, quite frankly, that may not be for everybody.
Places don't like to be aired.
Well, yeah, there's toxic places too, but I think she also doesn't curtail to places that she feels it even should be within her best interest to just act a certain kind of way. Like, you just chill. Like, you're cool, but just chill. And she's like, no, I'm gonna bring me. And you asked me to come here, or I asked to come here, or whatever deal that was made for this partnership to see this project through to a few months to a year or whatever. And you asked me to come here. I am who I am from beginning to end. I'm not going to pretend to be someone I'm not. And eventually, if you don't like that person, cool, I'm not going to change that. So then to kind of for her to understand, or lack of understanding or whatever, to say, kind of, I don't understand. Like, it seemed like y'all were cool in my face and we were cool, but now I'm not invited. Like, what's up? And the idea could be, that the people were just faking the funk, that they liked her to tolerate her for what she was good at, but in the outside, like, I don't really mess with you. And that could be an individual situation. And also touching on the idea that you ladies were talking about, and Mayette was really going in on the last segment, and I agree. It's like the difference between boys and men. And there's some men that age is nothing but a number. I know some young men who are as mature, and I'm not going to hold myself to a line, that are as mature as, if not more mature than myself. And I know that there are men that are older than me that are not. Mm-hmm. I can straddle both lines. I can be very immature sometimes, and I can be very mature sometimes. I've found a very happy medium for myself. But there are some people who have that mindset, even to get to a keyboard warrior standpoint and say, I want to talk to, like the story is, I want to talk to these people that have known her in her life in the past or whatever. I'm like, well, technically, if there were exes, one, that person could be toxic. Two, she could have been toxic to them. Or three, she could be a different person than she was entirely. If you talk to that person, of what they remember of her, whenever they dated, she's not that person anymore. Probably not.
But the fact that we even bring up her past relationships and something that wasn't talking.
I mean,
about
that's petty. And I even checked the person's profile. It literally says what it says. Take that how you will if you're listening, but like when you when you take those sides of yourself and then present them over the internet to reflect Beetlejuice, to reflect your opinion about someone. That's a whole.
That's three. Don't say it.
It adds a whole other layer to that conversation, like about her, about him, and about just people's overall view of what they bring to the table when they're talking about commentary on public figures that they don't even know.
Yeah.
I think the key takeaway in the whole thing is women are expected to be submissive.
Say it.
I think even men in certain instances are expected to curtail their power too.
We're all two different things, right? Curtail and submission are two different things.
We expect submission from our men because we are being submissive. That's a whole nother topic. Yeah.
Right. The expectation of a woman to be submissive.
School me now.
She's not submissive in public. She's acting out of turn and she's speaking out of turn and she doesn't represent me and she doesn't represent all women and all of these things. There is one person I am submissive to. I am submissive to my husband only. You can go and talk to all of my exes and they will say, she is not submissive. She is flippant. She speaks her own mind. She does her own thing. Can't control her. Can't tell her what to do. She's going to do what she wants. That's what my exes are going to say because they weren't the one.
Right.
right? So you go talk to her exes all you want. What you will find is maybe some other layers of who she is, because each person brings out something different in you.
Right.
I do want to touch on me saying that I like Candace Owens. I don't necessarily like what she stands for.
Okay.
What I like about her is that she is very comfortable in who she is. She is also a very educated and smart woman. She stands on her beliefs. She uses her platform to move the needle forward in what she believes. That is what I like about her. I don't necessarily like what she stands for, but I do have a high level of respect for the fact that she puts herself out on what she believes in. She does her research. She's got her details, and really, like, whatever it is that you want to present, you can find scientific data. You can find basis to say toothpaste is good for you or toothpaste is bad for you, right? So she can find any data to say, you know, these things moving forward is what we should do. Same thing with Amanda, can find the data from her studies to say these are the things that we need to do moving forward. The difference between the two of those women is one is palatable to an audience and one is palatable to another audience.
Gotcha.
When those two audiences are intermingled or commingled, then you get this this nasty taste in your mouth of like orange juice after you brush your teeth. And everyone can relate.
The only reason why I'm laughing is because you started with toothpaste and you ended up with it. So that was
right. You gotta round it out. But I think when I really think about Amanda and the fundamental disdain that people have is that she's not submissive.
Right.
And she's not supposed to be submissive. That's her purpose. Her purpose is to say the quiet part out loud, to stand on a place of fact, education, you know, wit and beauty, and she can sing too. Like, she is so multi-talented and multifaceted, and if she's the sacrificial lamb to move the needle forward, to change the trajectory of Black people, of Black women, of the diaspora, of brown people, like, she's opening so many doors. She is opening so many eyes. And if she has done nothing else, she has caused a conversation. And if conversation is starting to be had in these other areas that are making people think differently or challenge the status quo or challenging the way that they currently think about any topic, whatever that topic may be that she's speaking of at the time, then I think it's a job well done. And I think it's worth everything that she's going through. I hope that she has a great base around her and people who love her and support her regardless and despite all the things that are going on, so that they can protect her spirit and protect her heart and protect her mind, because, you know, she's still a human, right?
Yes.
And as strong as she is and as bold as she is, she's still human. And
Yeah, she's going through it.
Right, and the desire to want to be in these spaces that can't handle her truth, like the one to be invited to these places, kind of like, well, then
That's
like,
something about her
But she
too.
does work for them. Like,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the part that's weird. Like, as long it's just and
it's the
I want to say
you
this.
gotta give excuses to for before you bring them around everybody, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, though. But she's not. She's not the weird uncle. She's like, this what you said reminds me of something. My dad used to, and there are two things I have to remind myself to remember. First of all, my dad used to, when he used to take me places, he used to warn people that this one, we have no idea. She doesn't even know what's going to come out of her mouth. So be fair warned. Do you know what I mean?
I would say everything she thinks, she says.
That's right. The next thing is, I do believe that 10 years from now, maybe 20 years from now, Amanda Seales is going to be remembered the way we remember other great revolutionaries.
Mm-hmm.
Because the work that she's doing now that makes us uncomfortable, and it doesn't make me uncomfortable. I'll say it this way. When she first started going hard about Palestine, I was here. I was just kind of like on the level. I'm a watch and learn person. That is, like, I watch and I just pay attention, watch and learn. It turns out she was right. She was 1,000 trillion quintillion. She was so out of the box right. And the way people were coming at her and coming for her, and she stayed true. That is a revolutionary. That is what Fred Hampton did. We give Fred Hampton, during his time, his work was to rattle people through, the work of the Black Panther movement, but also to bring people together. And the stuff that he said out his face during that time, I am convinced that somebody's feathers would run. You know what I mean? Because what was he saying? It's like the kinds of languaging. And Amanda Seales isn't even doing that. She's not saying anything crazy. She's not doing anything crazy. She's not doing, like, she's not out there. She's saying, like Jen said, educated, thoughtful, brilliant things. And she's not even yelling it. She's not.
Yeah. The thing is, though, she's got the gift of sight.
Yeah.
And if you don't have the gift of sight, it's going to take you a much longer time to get to the conclusion that she got to quickly. Mm-hmm. She's got the gift of question asking, or she's got the tools of question asking. And when you have the tools of asking great questions, anytime you see any situation, the first thing you say is, or if something doesn't add up, so you got the gift of sight and the gift of great question asking, and you see something and you're like, well, wait a minute, that doesn't, did you hear what I just heard? Did you see what I just saw? Do they know about that time in 1948? Mm-hmm. And so she's got this information, and then she sees this thing in front of her, and then she asks a question, and she starts to put the dots together, and then she points fingers. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the part that people have such a hard time with, is that she is not afraid to point the finger. She's not afraid to say, but it was you who said, and it was you who did, but then you turned around and said you didn't say and do, but we saw you.
But here's what's interesting. Mark Lamont Hill has been doing this work about Palestine for generations. He did actually, generations, he's not that old, for a long time.
Right.
And he has been from the river to the sea. He was on CNN, I believe it was CNN, or maybe it was Fox. It was one of the two. I think it was CNN. And then they let him go because he said from the river to the sea in a speech, but it wasn't the way that, it doesn't matter. My point being is that don't nobody say Mark Lamont Hill is not likable. I've never heard, nobody brought his dating past. Mark Lamont Hill has been doing this work. Like, if you see Mark Lamont Hill doing an interview, whoever is talking, he will. Nobody worries about whether or not Mark Lamont Hill is likable. His interview, because he's not a woman.
No.
We got to go. She said, "Oh." This is the Envy McKee Show right here at WRD Progressive Black Talk Media. Will be what, Mayette? Oh,
black, baby. We'll be black.
Are you a star person suffering from where do I really fit in this world displacement disorder, or WDRFID for short? If you or someone you know is suffering from trying to fit into a world you were born to help evolve, but forgot, and so you did other stuff, you may be eligible to take part in a Star People Realignment Program, sponsored by the Wake Up the Star People of Earth Omniversal Alliance. For more information, read The Stellar Trilogy by Envy McKee, available at envymckee.com or wherever books are sold, like Amazon, and tune into The Envy McKee Show, Friday nights, 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on wordradio.com and the Word app. Join the Envolution.
Envy's evolution is the Envy McKee Show.
Hey, with Philly's own Kindred, the family soul.
Hey, what's up? This is Kevin Carr.
Hey, this is Lady Alma.
This is Greg.
And Halana.
And we are the Woke Bays.
Yo, what's up? This your boy Genuine right here on the Envy McKee Show. Now, always stay tuned.
Join the Envolution exclusively on Word.
Welcome back to the Envy McKee Show. Welcome back. No, I wasn't, because ain't nobody harmonizing with me. I've learned the hard way. This is Starfolk University, the onliest on-air school for modern mystics. Of course, this is the art of being known. Known is staying for kind. Notably, Overstanding Wisdom's Nature in the Woo Metaphysical Studio with me DJ Frosty Phoenix on the ones and twos. That's Eric. Hey, Eric. Our Dean of Fellowship and Change. Jen Bragg Jones, our Dean of Heartful Entrepreneurship. And Mayette Ajay Ib, our Dean of Understanding and Life Skills. And when I tell you these dean names totally like resonate, and it's like your halo. Like when I read these names and I'm like listening to the conversation, it's so dope. Y'all are so very dope. Eric, how long we got you?
Maybe another segment or two.
Oh, cool. How long we got you, Jen?
Till somebody says, "What's for dinner?"
Oh. How long we got you, Mayette?
For a couple more minutes. I'll be here. I'll be here for a little while longer. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, well, if you we have about 5 minutes left in this segment. If anybody's hopping off, then we need to find out how we reach you. But if you're gonna stay on in the 9 o'clock hour, then we can do that then. So that's up to you.
Should probably do it anyway.
Okay. Well, how do we reach you?
Who wants to go first?
I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Real quick. I am on Instagram only. Well, I'm on YouTube, but I don't use it much. I've stepped away from a lot of the forefront of things and delving into another part of my reality. You can reach me on Instagram at Mayette Ajay Ib. I am the owner of Internal Growth and Wellness. I have intgw.com if you'd like to go there. I'm also an owner of Virtual Call Center LLC, which is a company that helps people work from home and get ahead and be able to be amongst their children and do things like gardening and all that other good stuff because you create your own schedule type of thing. And I can be reached by simply leaving your email on my website and posting your question of any sort.
Love it.
Okay.
Love it. You wanna go, Jen?
Jen,
Oh, I can go next. So I am Jen Jones. People do call me Jen Bragg because that was my maiden name for a really, really long time. However, you can find me on Instagram at Cocoa Buttery _ Cocoa like Chanel Buttery, Buttery _ So on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, it's all Cocoa Buttery _ I'm not a big Facebooker, but Instagram and TikTok, you'll find me. You can find Cocoa Buttery on Amazon. It is one word, so you do have to search COCOBUTTERY, and you will find Cocoa Buttery on Amazon. There's only 2 products up there right now. However, we are going to continue to build out the store, and you can find it.
Genesis.
That Genesis be hitting different. And then you can also find us at cocobuttery.com, and you can hit our contact there, and it comes directly to me or to, I read everything, even if someone else does.
Okay. What about you,
very
Eric?
cool. You can find me on Instagram. I have like 5 pages at this point, but the one I would say is Nixon Producer, which you can find all of my work, and for the current work that I'm doing, for people that might be wondering, whyy.org and / Eric Nixon to find my stories that I've worked on and other things.
Awesome. So now you know who's in the room and why this conversation has been so powerful. We've been talking about Amanda Seales. We've been talking about Beetlejuice. We've been talking about...
Oh,
that's what I'm going to start to call. I'm going to stop calling people wackadoodles. I'm going to start calling them Beetlejuice. I think that...
We've been a bad name on Beetlejuice because Beetlejuice might be a likable character.
Have you seen the movie?
I feel like you haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it in a long time. I was just trying to
I don't think he was likable at all. I don't think that was it.
No.
So, like, what's interesting about this shift prompt, the art of being known, right? And I've said this a couple times that initially, so we started the year with the art of being seen. Last month it was the art of being heard, and this month is the art of being known. And what I thought it was going to mean, being known, even as the shift prompt was, the acronym came out, what I thought it was going to mean was we all traversing public spaces. And it kind of does mean that, but what it really first came out was being known to self. And then what I think who all gonna be there, which is kind of the focus for this week, is what being known means to yourself, and then being known outwardly. Who all gonna be there is that all different versions of you, because there's only one of us here. And what we talked about with Mayette, whatever you see in someone is in you. who all gonna be there, how we show up to these conversations is who all gonna be there. Do you know what I mean? We're always looking at different iterations of ourselves. So even though we talk junk about Beetlejuice, we all got that. Just some of us are mature enough to look at that, synthesize it, and say, I'm not gonna be Beetlejuice today.
Right.
Some other folk don't have that. They're not doing the work. And that's okay too, because I love when Rhonda Wildflower, the astrologer, says, everybody on Earth School is on their own journey, and we need to respect their journey, even if it's annoying.
Well, I got a video I'm gonna send you on Instagram. You made me think of something. Continue.
But I think the thing that annoys me so much about this conversation is not that people can't see the value in a talent, because she is a talent, of Amanda Seales, is that people, it's almost like they look for blood in the water and they come out in droves to pile on. And it bothers me that we're looking for someone like that to fall. And it reminds me that so many of our world leaders were once like an Amanda Seales. Like, do you think for 1 second that people liked Martin Luther King?
The black people nor the white people.
They didn't like Malcolm X. They didn't like Martin Luther King. They didn't like Medgar Evers. They didn't like Angela Davis. They didn't like none of those people. They were ruffling feathers. But more than ruffling feathers, they were standing on principle. So just like you have the crabs in the barrel that just, ooh, and that's a real thing. It's like when you see somebody that has reached some sort of pinnacle that you're not reaching, you're looking for them to slip and fall so you can go,
I told you.
I told you that they not likable.
You know, there's also the part of
We gotta go to break, Jen.
okay, I'll hold it.
Yeah, hold that thought. We gotta go to break because we already late. This is the Envy McKee Show right here on WRT. Progressive Black Talk Media. We'll be what, Jen?
Blackity black.
We will.
You just can't miss the Envy McKee Show.
I am the stone that the builder refused. I am the visual, the inspiration that made ladies sing the blues. I'm the spark that makes your idea bright. The same spark that lights the dark so that you can know your left from your right. I am the ballad in your box, the bullet in the gun, the inner glow that let you know to call your brother son. The story that just begun, the promise of what's to come. And I'ma remain a soldier till the war is won. Chop, chop, chop.
The Envy McKee Show, exclusively on Word.
Chop, chop, chop. Chop, chop, chop.